most powerful reasons why plant medicine, especially like psilocybin or even ayahuasca or even peyote, all of these plant medicines that help you connect with what's real and what's present and what's true and what feels right and good to your heart, that helps you get in touch with your shadow and all that. One of the reasons why it's so powerful is because it helps you overcome the fear of death. And you don't realize, I think as humans, we don't realize just how much of our anxiety and our fear comes from not really knowing. Like, we may have beliefs about what happens after death, but until you really feel like you know, you don't feel totally safe. The idea of death scares you. And the beauty of facing the fear of death is because if you are willing to die before you die, meaning to face the fear of death and overcome it, to actually consider it, and to explore what the truth, what feels true to you. Because what feels true to you is gonna be relieving. It's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel good when the truth hits you. Like when you consider the truth that you've always existed and you will always exist, and that your existence is love because it's with God. When you make this a knowing within yourself, not just a belief, but you make it a knowing, you connect with that, the implications of that, the inherent safety that comes with knowing you have everlasting life, knowing it in your body. What does it feel like in your body to know that you're an immortal soul, that you're an eternal being? It feels good. When you actually face the fears of, well, what if it's not true? Well, if you understand that fear is always an illusion, fear does not have to be true. And in fact, the feeling of fear is telling you that it's not true. You're not perceiving yourself correctly. You're not perceiving the situation correctly. And so when we can actually face these fears and feel them and bring them out, with plant medicine being a catalyst for that, now you can bring those sensations and those limiting beliefs to the surface and you can heal them. The first time I sat with psilocybin, the tremendous fear that came up for me was that I was running out of time. Like, during my experience, time went away from me and my mind was stuck in a fear loop. And it felt like time didn't exist, and that terrified me for some reason. Like I was running out of time, or that I didn't have time, or that it's an illusion, so it's not really real, and it's like it could all fall apart at any moment. And that's not the case, because what is guiding everything is love. And when you face that fear, for example, suddenly your relationship to time changes entirely. You don't have the same relationship with it. You don't live for Friday. You don't live week to week. You live every day, every moment. You start to live more presently, and you start to try and create more experiences that help you feel alive. You care more about how you feel than outside circumstances. And when you understand that once you learn how to feel good, just about yourself, because you love yourself, you're grateful to be alive, you're grateful to be able to choose the direction and path of your life that feels best to you, that you have the option to do that, and you start to live in that place more and more and more. And that is the process of remembering who you are, why you came here. And you can really only get to that place when you know that you are safe. And so we have to face the fears. And if we do not overcome the fear of death while we're here, it will always be there. And you don't realize how much of your anxiety is existential in nature. Your anxiety, your fear of taking chances, it's all because you're afraid to die. And really, what that represents in consciousness is that you're afraid to die to the old self. There's things you don't want to look at. There's regrets. There's resentments. There's things that you didn't do that you wish you had done. There's all these things that you need to make peace with and put them to bed, because you cannot change what has happened. What has happened is what was meant to happen. Because when you don't know who you are a victim to traumas and even generational traumas that you come in to heal that you don't even know about until you start experiencing them, until you go through them. But you're here to heal. What you may not know about your soul that I'm here to tell you is that you are a master healer. Every single soul here is a master healer, because the natural way of the soul is well-being and health. But when we are lost in illusion and we don't know who we are, our health suffers tremendously. And then we don't feel good, and we realize we're creating it because we have chosen to reject our hearts. We have chosen a safer path, and we're afraid to choose our hearts, to choose what was best for us. And because we've rejected and abandoned ourselves so much, we don't feel good. Our body doesn't trust us. Our mind doesn't trust us. And so what we have to do is create experiences where we remember how to feel good. And then, when we feel good, inevitably we will go down. But this is your opportunity to see the illusions that you're holding on to still. This is your opportunity to work with those things, to sit with those things, not to run from them, not to hide from them, but to sit with them, feel them, and let them speak to you. And you do that from as neutral a place as you can, and you will start to see that these stories do not have to be true for you anymore. There is a more loving perspective for you to find. There is wisdom to be had. It is time to overcome your fears. Not just mentally, not just to say, oh, I believe that fear is false and blah, 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 but to actually embody the confidence of knowing that you never have to choose those illusions again. And you never have to be fooled by illusions again, because you can learn how to trust in love, trust in truth, trust in the power of knowing yourself. It does not matter what other people believe in. It does not matter what everyone else thinks their reality is. It's their reality. It's theirs. It's none of your business what their reality is, unless they come up and ask you for help with it. It's not your place to worry about what everyone else is thinking. It is your job to align with what is true to your heart, because that's the truth of your soul. If you're looking for real transformation and real healing, I highly recommend a plant medicine ceremony. It doesn't have to be with me. I would love to work with you if this resonates, but if you have the courage to take the medicine and sit with the medicine, it will show you where you are limiting yourself. It will be a powerful catalyst that will help you see the divinity in you, and also the illusions. The divinity is what's true. The illusions are what need to be seen through. for what they are and elevated to truth. And by seeing through the illusions, you get to the truth. By standing up to fear and doubt and limitations that do not serve you. Because they're only as true as they are felt within you. If they feel really negative and heavy, it means you're holding on to it. It means you have a really strong, heavy, negative charge, and that needs to be changed. And you deserve to have that changed. Everything that feels really bad to the body means that we are misperceiving ourselves here. And we can change it. We can learn to see ourselves differently. And we can make that a felt reality in the body. Where eventually you will feel good again. Your body will feel good. And as your body feels better and better, your life gets better and better. Because your body starts to feel good because you've now started to choose yourself. To choose to love yourself. To choose to be yourself. To choose to stop caring about what anyone else thinks. All right? It doesn't matter what they think. They are all at their own level of consciousness. If they are not willing to look at these things yet, it just means they're not ready. And any judgment that comes from them is a reflection of them, not you. It's a reflection to tell you, hey, you're being who you want to be. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. That's just, you have to make that, you have to draw a line with that. That's the boundaries you have to set within yourself. The boundaries aren't to, you don't have to tell people your boundaries. You just have to keep them. You have to know what they are. You have to set them. And if you know that you've been caring too much about what certain people think, that's a boundary that you haven't set yet. It just is. And yeah, again, plant medicine's a powerful way to see, where the fuck am I not setting boundaries? How can I cut some cords? How can I put up some energetic walls for myself to know, just to feel it, just to get the body to start feeling safe? The truth is, you're already protected. You just have to start feeling it. You have to learn how to feel it. You have to remember how to feel it in your body. What it feels like to be safe, to feel good. And then, as you make choices that start to align with that good feeling, choices that you feel good about, and you start doing that a lot, you'll find that your life becomes a lot more aligned. And maybe that starts with, how do we get ourselves feeling safer and more protected from old burdens and old stuff and old stories? And that's fine. And then eventually, when you start to feel safer in your body, then you'll start to think about, well, what could I be doing in my life that would be really fun, that I would be really happy about? And then you will start to feel good. Then your life will start to feel like a dream life that you have started to really co-create with, because that is what you are meant to do. You are meant to remember how to co-create your own personal dream life. And you have spent a lot of years finding out ways that you don't like your reality to be. Things about yourself that don't feel true anymore, that don't feel good to you. You get the opportunity now to start transforming them from the inside out consciously. That is your gift. But you've got to create experiences that are powerful, that help you shift. A quantum leap, a quantum jump, a timeline jump is when you, in your body, start to embody a completely different energy, and you start to notice it. You notice that you're more confident. You notice that you're not as fearful. You notice that you feel safer. You notice that your root chakra feels more secure more often. You notice that you're starting to learn how to Use your energy more consciously. You're starting to learn how to say yes to what feels right to you, to what feels good to you. That's how you'll know I'm shifting. And it's a volatile process. It's a little chaotic. All right? You may go to some coping mechanisms. You may repeat some old behaviors, but know that when you're doing this, there's kind of no rules. All right? You do what you need to do to embody this new energy. You make that your reality. You make it your truth. You don't buy in to illusion and fears. I already am this new version of me. Regardless of what certain things seem to say from the past, I let go of those stories. They have no power over me anymore. Now, I am on an entirely new timeline. I am in a new energy, and I'm just transitioning. I will get used to this. I will get used to this being my reality. And then you shift. And it might take a couple weeks for things to settle down. Once you've made a really new awareness about yourself, a really new realization about yourself. Like you've leveled up. Now it's going to take some time for you to settle into that. Because you got a new worldview, you got a new self-perception. And you're kind of going back and forth, toggling between the old perspective and the new one. But you have to keep aligning with the new one, keep returning to the new one. That's who you are. That's who you are. And with enough practice, you can get really good at this. Better and better and better. Until being the creator of your reality is just a natural, easy, flowing process, because you've learned how to trust and surrender all of the details, right? You've surrendered all the details that you used to worry about, that you used to think were on you and were just your responsibility, and that you didn't have any support with it or help. And now you just know that those things are already taken care of for you. They're all going to have their natural solution as it happens. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to control those things, right? What you're controlling is your direction, your presence and your use of your energy. How present are you? How conscious and aware are you of what you're doing right now? Are you siphoning energy? Are you putting yourself somewhere that doesn't feel good? Where are you not taking care of yourself? And you shift accordingly. It just takes time. You can make the realization very quickly in a moment, or the realization might come down the line. But when you start to practice real presence, the present moment is your only real responsibility. If you are present, you are conscious, you are aware of what's happening right here within you, you're doing what you need to be doing, right? And when it changes, you'll know, because you'll be paying attention. And you'll start to stop wasting your time with certain ideas that feel like you keep beating your head against a wall. You'll start to realize maybe this content that I'm taking in is actually hurting me more than it's helping me at this point. Maybe I don't necessarily agree with this, or maybe it's just not necessary anymore. Maybe I've gotten what I need from it, and now it's time for me to let that go and start to really pay more attention to how I'm utilizing my energy and how I want to create my reality. What feels authentic to me? What makes it feel easy? And then start to adopt those perspectives and beliefs until they become knowings. It's an ongoing evolution. You are evolving. You are learning how to make your reality more and more and more preferable. It's like Bashar says, we're here to decide more of what we prefer versus what we don't prefer. It doesn't have to be this, oh my God, this is happening. Why does this keep happening to me? Like, because you're still afraid that you're creating it, rather than just choosing something else. Instead, just realize you were creating it. All right, that sucks. Let it go. Do what you need to do to let that go, to come to terms with that. You were creating it. Everything you've experienced that you did not enjoy, you created it on some level. I'm not saying this to blame you. I'm not saying that you should feel ashamed or bad. You're gonna, but know that that's just purging it. Once you finally accept it, once you finally accept you've always been the creator, and creating is pretty easy. Life hasn't fallen apart. You've always had what you needed. Why? Because you're here. You still exist. You've always been supported. You've always had enough, even when you thought you weren't going to have enough to survive. You did, because you're here. And the only thing that stands between you and that next version of yourself, that future version of yourself, is the willingness to die to what was, to actually overcome fear, to realize not that you'll never feel afraid again, but whenever fear comes up, you know, A, I don't have to trust this perspective, and B, I can overcome this shit because it's just sensations in the body, and that's it. That's it. It says nothing else about you. It was telling you of a misperception, and now you have to process those feelings and realize, remember, that you are safe again, that you're okay, that you're safe to exist, that life is good now. Life is good because you know who you are. And it's beautiful. It is. It is really beautiful. When you finally come to terms with everything. When you finally make peace with the old self and embody the new self, the higher self, the true self. More and more and more. It's a process. This is not a day and night thing. This is not or an overnight thing. This is not something you do quickly. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes significant experiences, especially when you've been through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of hard experiences. To make peace with all of that takes time. So be patient with yourself. Be more patient than you've ever been, and when you feel like you can't be any more patient, have a tantrum and then be patient again. All right? Seriously. Real patience means you do not get impatient anymore. You trust that you are always coming to the understanding you need. You are always on your way there. Sometimes you just gotta let go and embrace the unknown, though. But you can trust the unknown because it's you. You are the unknown. Just trust it. Just trust it. Stop being afraid of it. It's not as scary as you think it is. And in fact, when you get over the fear of it, it's not scary at all. It's where all the magic happens. All the magic happens when you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. That's when it happens. When you're just feeling good to feel good, and then good things happen. And that's just my luck. I love you guys.